All right, let's continue on a little bit. All right, so now we know we have low and high pressure. This right here is low pressure because we have air moving up and we have air getting sucked in to replace it. That's our low pressure. Now, how does this actually affect your day-to-day weather? Besides causing breezes, the air movement, there's something that we need to consider and something that we need to think about. First off, we need to make sure we understand why is the air doing this, okay? The air is not just randomly deciding, I'm going to go up today, or I feel a little low, I'm going to drop down and see what's going on there. No, there's actually a purpose and a reason behind this, okay? So up here in this beautiful sky, we have the sun. The sun is radiating energy. The energy comes down, it warms up the ground. Now in the summertime, it's more of a direct sunlight and it does a better job warming things up because it's hitting it straight on. In the wintertime, it's more indirect sunlight, so it's bouncing off at an angle and it doesn't absorb as much. Okay, we're going to assume that right now, summertime, rays are coming down, bouncing down, warming up the ground. Now, that's our radiation. Now, once the ground warms up, we have a little bit of conduction. Conduction is when one thing touches another and heat transfers between them. So all these air molecules that are floating around come down and they touch the ground. When the air molecule comes down and it touches the warm ground, air molecule warms up. Now, the thing we learned about when you warm any type of fluid, a gas or a liquid, the molecules start moving faster. But not only do they start moving faster, but they tend to move in one general direction. They all lift up. Faster moving molecules rise. So all of these molecules that are down here are rising up because they're warming up. Okay, that's what's causing this low pressure system. Now, how does that affect our atmosphere and weather? Remember, we said there's oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and all these things. There's one other really important molecule that's floating around in the atmosphere, and that's all these little water vapor molecules, okay? All those little water vapor molecules that we can't necessarily see are there, okay? They've evaporated away from the water, and they're just floating around. Now, with low pressure system is sucking all of that moisture right up. It's pulling all of that up. Now, we talked about this. When you get all of those water molecules up high enough, the temperature drops down. When water molecules that are a gas cool off, they condense. Condensed water vapor in the air leads to a buildup of clouds, which leads to some form of precipitation. Okay, so this is why we generally associate low pressure with bad weather. Okay, because you're putting a lot more of this water vapor up in the air where it can condense, turn into clouds, and fall back down onto your head in the form of some form of precipitation. Okay, so when we have low pressure, you're going to see lots more clouds, a lot more rain. Those things are going to happen. So you get a lot of those different types of clouds. Now, when we have high pressure, okay, that's where we flip things around. Now, with high pressure, we don't end up having all of this stuff get pulled up into the air. Everything is getting pushed down and away, okay? So now if there aren't water molecules floating up into the air, they're all getting pushed down. They're getting pushed down into this warmer area. That means they don't need to condense. That means we're not building clouds, we're not building precipitation. So for us, that would mean if there aren't clouds and there aren't precipitation, we get clear weather. That's why our high pressure system that pushes the water vapor down, generally we associate with clear and good weather, okay? Now the thing to keep in mind is these things don't happen instantaneously. Okay, you can have a day like today where it could be cloudy and horrible outside, and we might just now be getting into a high pressure system. Okay, and the high pressure system might now be starting to work at pushing and breaking things up. It doesn't happen in 10 minutes. Okay, so a lot of the times what we look at is big giant patterns across the whole United States, and we'll look to see how things are moving. That's what really helps determine what's going on with the weather, because you have to remember, as these molecules move up or move down, whether they're making clouds or whether they're not, they don't just stay here, okay? Everything is always in a constant state of some sort of movement. So, yeah, we're building clouds in a low pressure system, sure, but then the clouds are still going to continue to drift farther and farther away. So, we could have a low pressure system building clouds, but it might not rain until it moves way over there so that it's not actually over us anymore. So, our next video, we'll look at more of the whole United States and see how things work that